Chance the Rapper's career was once an inspiring story of an independent artist rising from nothing to now it's a tragic tale of squashed potential. Starting with 10 Day, then releasing the absolute classic Acid Rap, then following it up with the successful Coloring Book, winning Best New Artist, but then completely changing the trajectory of his career with The Big Day. An album so hated it's become the face of terrible albums. Now 6 years later, he's finally releasing his follow-up to the biggest disaster an artist could possibly have with Starline, and it's coming out this spring. Because Chance has fallen from grace, people have, probably deservedly, been overlooking what Chance's next move is. But it's not what you expect from a comeback album, and it's completely intentional from Chance. And with that, I think there's reason to believe Chance doesn't want to win people back in the first place.
I told you I manifested this. I manifested this.
Chance has had an interesting road to get to Starline. He grew his fandom because of the way he mixed gospel, R&B, and rap perfectly with a ton of personality and goofiness. Everything started in 2011 when Chance received a 10-day suspension from his high school for marijuana possession, a symbolic sign for his narrative in his music, and finalized his first mixtape, 10 Day, during that time. Although he had some growing hype within Chicago, this was the first project that put him on a national scale. Blogs started to pick it up, and people were eager to hear what else this charismatic kid from South Chicago had to say. For the next 2 years, he'd work on his follow-up mixtape, Acid Rap, a project so popular it charted on Billboard at 63 from an independent artist mixtape. This album was an instant hit both commercially and critically, with Pitchfork giving it an 8.4 rating, a rating higher than other 2013 rap albums such as Born Sinner by J. Cole, Magna Carta Holy Grail by Jay-Z, Indicud by Kid Cudi, and Marshall Mathers LP2 by Eminem. It was the album that got the attention of everyone, and the influence of drugs didn't stop there. Chance admitted to heavily using acid while creating this project, hence the name Acid Rap, but it perfectly balanced it with soulful jazz style, a style that Kanye, Chance's biggest influence, was in the middle of going away from with Yeezus, so people were still hungry for it, and it showed.
LeBron James.
If you love Acid Rap by Chance the Rapper.
After this, people were dying to hear what Chance had next. He'd do a few collab projects, as well as some singles, but it wouldn't be until 3 years later, in 2016, when he'd finally released the long-awaited Coloring Book. Sonically, a shift away from the drug-influenced raps he did under Acid Rap and 10 Day, this time he turned towards more a positive direction, focusing more on gospel-oriented jazz style. The narrative of the album focused more on nostalgia for a younger life as he grows into adulthood, an aspect a lot of Chance fans could relate to, having grown up with his music over the last 5 years. This album was jam-packed with features such as Kanye West, Justin Bieber, Young Thug, and Future, and it was a bona fide success, being the first album to ever chart just from streams and winning the Best Rap Album at the 2017 Grammys, beating out Drake's Views, Schoolboy Q's Blank Face LP, and beating his mentor and album he helped create, Kanye's The Life of Pablo. Chance was at the top of the music world. He hosted SNL, met the president at the White House, was getting brand deals left and right, made $6 million alone from hat sales off of his signature 3 hat, and topped it off with winning the Best New Artist Award at the Grammys in 2017. Despite this being a monumental time for Chance's career, this was the point where everything took a turn for the worse.
He was special.
3 years later, he'd release his debut studio album, The Big Day. Not sure what I can say about this album that hasn't already been said. I can't think of an album more hated by the internet. It was the punchline to every joke online for about a month. Fantano gave it an actual 0 rating, and that rating didn't get much disagreement from the viewers. I thought it was for sure his worst project yet, but the hate definitely was overstated on how bad this project was. But it was a perfect storm at the time. With Hot Shower being the face of the album, it certainly made it an easy target. But one thing Chance could always lean on was the fact that the album was dedicated to his marriage. However, it truly hit rock bottom when Chance and his wife filed for divorce 5 years after this album. But now, Chance is finally making his triumphant return to music with Starline, his response to the criticism, and a chance to return the favor of the public. Which, me being a big Chance fan, I actually have confidence he's able to do that. However, this album isn't getting much reporting. To hear him talk about it from his perspective, the angle he's taking on it is not at all what you expect from Chance.
Boom, click and go back this way. Boom, here, click and go that way.
If 10 Day is about a life as a student, in contrast with drugs and getting suspended, Acid Rap is about drugs being a positive or negative influence in his life, Coloring Book is a coming-of-age story, and The Big Day being an ode to his wife and marriage, Starline is a love story about Africa and a celebration of black culture and creatives. Each song has an original corresponding art piece created by a black artist, with each art piece being an original piece for each individual song, and the album is an ode to Marcus Garvey. If you're unfamiliar, Marcus Garvey Kennedy was a Jamaican political activist and a black nationalist who's been referred to by many rappers, including Kendrick Lamar, in the song The Blacker the Berry. But the reason Chance created an album dedicated to this man is he became president of the Black Starline shipping and passenger company designed to forge a link between North America and Africa and to facilitate African American migration to Liberia. Although Chance admitted he doesn't follow Garvey on all of his beliefs, it's clear this album is designed with a specific purpose. But why does this imply Chance doesn't want to make a comeback? It's simple, he's not pandering to the typical formula to get charted and get sales. The sad truth is that the subject matter of this album doesn't resonate with a large portion of his audience. But like the person he's dedicating the album to, he's separating himself from that crowd. If Chance wanted to make his triumphant return to the Grammys and the Billboard charts, he'd create an album like Coloring Book again. A chart-friendly, feature-heavy album that everyone can relate to and is an already established American audience. He would collaborate with artists like Kanye and Justin Bieber, artists who he has already a long history with, but Chance doesn't care about that at this point in his life. He's gone through the growth of seeing success, so at this point, it seems like he's more interested in telling stories and exposing light on different subjects. He himself even admitted that music wasn't the reason he made this album.
I was making music a little bit in 2020, but not really that much because there was a pandemic happening, and so I was not super motivated.
But what was there was the inspiration to make music videos. So this album is more of a vessel to create music videos and to uplift black creatives.
It would be dope to shoot a music video, but I ain't really have no music. So I made a song so that I could shoot a video for it. And that one was called The Heart and the Tongue. I made that, I think at the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. And then after that, I just got really into it and I started buying a whole bunch of lenses and cameras and lighting packages and started like creating my own style or aesthetic.
We've seen this from other artists such as Kid Cudi, Kanye, Frank Ocean. Music is no longer their primary focus, and they find creative fulfillment in other avenues. I think that's what we're seeing right now with Chance. Now, will we ever see the old Chance, the acid rap Chance, the coloring book Chance? I think we will, but never in that kind of way. Chance has seen the highs of success, and now he's seen the lows. He's quitting it in a way that he's done chasing charts. The concept of Starline isn't grabby or catchy to the average person. It's thought out and deep, but isn't optimized for sales. He's not going to be rapping about drugs or childhood or anything like that, but instead he's just choosing what inspires him. Hearing the singles that have already led up to this and the promotion for the album, it wouldn't shock me at all if this album doesn't sell well, but I don't think Chance is expecting it either. Personally, I think it's a great move from Chance to do this. It definitely feels like he's done caring about what people think, and he's now more interested in doing something that fulfills himself. However, selfishly, I do hope Chance goes back to his old style eventually, because it does seem lately he's been pushing more towards a pop direction, pushing away from that rap, acid rap style. So I think Starline is a move in the right direction because he's one of my favorite artists ever, and acid rap specifically holds a really special place in my heart. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad Chance is back. But what do you guys think? Does this album excite you, or did you lose interest in Chance after the big day? Thank you so much for watching. If you could hit a like and subscribe, that would be amazing. We upload every Thursday on a relevant music topic. And go to our link in our bio. We're selling a Channel Orange sweatshirt as you see on screen. And in the bio is a link to our Discord where we're just talking about music, anything that's dropping. See you next week.